Hello, and welcome to another edition of Time is Precious with me, Coach Precious, your emotional empowerment specialist. And I'm here to share something good with us today. Again, our emphasis is always on the importance of this resource we have called time. We've all been given this resource, regardless of our status in life, how much money we make. Time is given to us all. And being able to use that in a way that enhances our lives, supports us in our goals, and is a positive example for those around us is critical. So, I'm going to touch bases on something today in regards to the holidays. It's one of those seasons. We're in the season now of the holidays, and we're leading up into the new year. And regardless of your stance on it, you can't ignore that there's a lot of buzz around the holidays. And for that reason, one of it's an impact on us when we have people that are no longer with us who help to make those times special for us. And for some, it can be a sad time because of that, because of the traditions and the people that we've had in our lives that have made our traditions special and just have enhanced our lives in so many ways. When they are no longer here, we can tend to experience that whole season that we're in now of the holidays in a less than positive or happy light. And I want to touch bases on that because the time that we have is precious. It is valuable. And there's so much that can be done with the time that we use and that we have when we recognize its importance and then have the tools to support ourselves in the best way possible. And the first point I want to touch on is we get to acknowledge that there is something new. When times change, they change. When people who are in our lives, when they are no longer here, there is a change and it impacts us. So to pretend that that doesn't exist, that everything is the same, and it's a denial, living in denial, and that doesn't serve us. So the first step is acknowledgement. Acknowledge that it's new. The way you experienced life at a younger age, maybe in childhood, the way you experienced it with people who were critical to your support, if they're not here, we don't have to pretend that everything is the same because it's clearly not. So, acknowledgement is the first key that I want to share with us today when it comes to experiencing the season and experiencing new things. Acknowledge that it's new. This is different. This is not what maybe you are used to, what you have been experiencing in the past, but just acknowledgement is critical, it's helpful, and it helps you to live in reality. And once you do that, so that doesn't take much time. It's just a choice. It's a choice to acknowledge the reality that you live now. And the next step is remembering to give yourself permission. We can feel that we are supporting people and supporting a legacy when we choose to maybe stay stuck. So if that's the belief, it would be hard to have a little joy, have a little fun, uh, new in a new way, because we could have the tendency to say, no, I'm going to stick to the remembrances that I have of the past. And so my tip is give yourself permission to do things differently. It's not going to be the same, and it's not supposed to be the same. Life has changed. We've acknowledged that, remember? So after the acknowledgement, we can give ourselves permission to open our minds to explore something different. We just may like it. So grant yourself permission. You're the only one you have to give permission to. No, that you need it from, rather. You don't need to ask it from someone else. Like, can I enjoy myself differently? Is there still joy in living? Is there still something that I can benefit from and appreciate during this season of giving, sharing, gratitude? If that's what you've been experiencing during this holiday season in the past. And if there is, if you can give yourself an answer, even if it's a soft one, allow yourself permission to experience something new that you can enjoy, some new emotions that you can benefit from. And a third point, I only have four, okay? So we recognize acknowledgement is important, acknowledging that something is different. The old ways that served us at that time have passed, and it's a new day, and we get to acknowledge that. And the second point is grant yourself permission to experience something new and different because times have changed. The people who were a part of our previous experience are not able to be to the same degree that they were. And it doesn't always mean a person has to have died. There are times children grow up, they move on. There are times friends move away, things are different. And there are times things may change for you, even some of your beliefs. You may experience things differently than when you had a different belief system. You practiced um, different experiences in the past, and you can reevaluate those and alter them as you see fit. So it's okay. You acknowledge that this is new now. I'm doing something different, and I can allow myself to appreciate it. I can allow myself to enjoy it. So grant yourself permission for those new experiences and to enjoy the benefit of them. The third point I'm going to touch on is specifically um, allowing in joy, excitement, and I mentioned it before, but I'm emphasizing it differently now. New emotions that benefit you. So it doesn't mean all of the emotions, the former emotions, were not beneficial. It just means what if they've served their time? If you've done some grief, been through grief, and you have contemplated the impact that a previous experience has had on you and how you miss it. You want that again, but that may not be the case for you right now. Um, that was a process that you had to go through that served you because it's a process to help you get to the next steps. As you get to next steps, be intentional about allowing the thought, the beliefs, and the practices that will provide the emotions that are now serving you in this new phase of life. Okay? It's new. And new does not have to be scary. And sometimes it's not scary when we understand the process, we understand more of what's going on. So being able to be intentional that I think I'll choose to pull down some joy today. This is exciting for me today. Oh, there's some wonderment of it all. Get to some of those, I'll say, childhood emotions in its purest form, if that can you can relate to that. And if not, maybe some that you are experiencing in adulthood for the first time. But be intentional about doing things, seeking opportunities and experiences that will specifically provide for you new and positive emotions, the ones that you desire that will help serve you in this new level of your life. Because new can also be exciting. New is growth. It's growth and it's part of your life process. It's a part of the journey. And so when in our lives we can consider seasons changing from one season to the next, or if you're reading a book, like from one chapter to the next, it's a process. It's a positive evolution of events. Just recognize that I'm in a new phase and I can make the most of it because there's joy, there's excitement, there's newness that is waiting for me in this phase of life. And then the fourth point that I want to remind us of or to share for the first time, if it's a perspective that's new, that newness doesn't have to only happen during the holiday season. We don't have to wait if you're in America for November, December, January, starting off the new year. Newness happens when we allow for it regularly because we are continuing to be on our path of life. We don't stand still. We're in movement. Life is movement. Our earth is spinning. So we're in movement. And remembering that newness, I don't have to wait for a specific time of year to experience it. Newness happens every time I allow it in my thoughts. Every time I wake up a new day, I get to start again. And if I'm in the middle of my day, it can start then as well. Know that you control that part. When you allow yourself to think differently, to maybe challenge old beliefs, and to receive new information. You process it. It doesn't mean you take everything in as gold. You try it. And in that trying process, you might be surprised. And that can happen. The good news is it can happen anytime you allow for it. So recognize that, yes, things are new. They are not what they once were. You can acknowledge that. You can reminisce on that. You may have some nostalgia based off of what has happened in the past. Happy memories and different things may trigger these positive emotions of when. I remember when. So that's fine. Just try not to get stuck there. You can remember that, the when, I remember when, and then also recognize right now I'm creating memories and experiences that I will look back on tomorrow. So right now, you're creating what you will look back on in the future. And one point that I want to add, when it comes to our relationships with others, people benefit from us when we benefit from ourselves. So let me break that down. When we are good to ourselves, when we are getting the best out of life, it's automatic that some of that falls off of us into those around us. They see us coming, they feel our light and energy. And if we are downcast and stay that way, people feel that as well. So, one of the things that stood out to me when I think back on two people that I love dearly who've passed is whatever feelings I could have experienced in missing them, they experienced those feelings as well in missing their loved ones because they had people in their lives as they grew up and matured who didn't remain with them always. And they still had such joy in life. They were able to enjoy me, they were able to enjoy their other family members and friends. And that's inspiring to me. So if they endured the same process of life that I am experiencing as well, and they still found joy in the current reality that they held. They still had the deep memories of the past that were never going to leave them, and the joys and the remembrances of their past ones and loved ones and friends and family. But it didn't stop them from living strongly, boldly in the present. And I recognized that in later years, and it made me think, if they endured that and loved so hard in the moment, I can too. Because had they not done that, I wouldn't have the positive experiences and memories of them that I currently hold. So realize you're creating your future memories now, and not just for yourself, but how others experience you as well. And there's a lot of love to still be had and experienced. There are a lot of people who we can touch and who we do touch and who've touched us on a heart level. And it helps us know we're not here alone. And for the people that we do have in our lives, the fun and positive experiences that we can enjoy them wholeheartedly. Time is precious. It's a gift. It is a gift. And it's good when we receive gifts to say, thank you, and then explore them, appreciate them, magnify them, the benefits, appreciate the gift. Time is precious. So, what is beyond us is just that it's beyond us. What we currently can lay hold to, what we currently can benefit from, what we are currently able to experience and enjoy, let's do that. I'm your coach, Coach Precious. Time is precious, and I wish you the best in this season, whichever season you're in, and in life.